Cheers. Coffee time again. I'm really pleased with the progress made so far with this section of the Linleys Garden Railway. Hi, I'm Warren Brandon. Welcome back to another Linleys video. In the last couple of sessions, I've been working on this Y junction, this triangle junction at this point of the branch line, and pretty well got all the main track bed steels in and sorted. I hope you've caught up with the previous videos. I've taken stock of where I am, what next to do with this project, and I'm going to tidy up the edging of the garden, just going to get those blocks in, and also switching across to clear the track line along the garden fence line and potentially lifting some of the steels to reuse the steel work for the branch line. Along the fence line there, buried in the leaves at the moment, is a whole double track section of the main line between the upper part of the garden and the lower section for St John's station. Most of it is tracked. Most of the track is down there, but it's on a wooden track bed with the steel sort of foundation edges. I need to lift that to lay some ground trunking in for more cables. There's always more cables to install. I don't need the steel for the concrete. I can just have wooden shuttering, put the concrete in, and job done. I only put the steels in there when I was using the original idea for the wooden track bed, but I've moved on from that now, so I can reuse the steel for the branch line. In any case, there are still lots of leaves and bits of ground rubbish to tidy up. Let's tidy up the edge of the grass and clear out the back track bed area there and maybe lift some steels. Having tidied up a little bit along the side and the back there, I'm just going to make good this edge in a temporary way. These are not bedded on concrete, but those further up are. I won't bed them in concrete just yet because there still might be a little bit of flexibility. Grass height, edge of the grass position relative to the station, but I'd rather like to get it a bit tidier for the summer, so I shall have a go at realigning this edge a little bit, mostly following along from here, I think. That's a bit tidier. At least that section's done. Now, I've just kept the stones about 10-15 millimetres proud from the soil top, simply because the idea of the grass would come up with the grass height just above that. Theoretical, of course. is a whole load tidier. I'm happy with that. Still haven't quite confirmed that that's the exact edge of the grass in its final form. I can readjust it as I wish down the line. And in fact, the height of the grass might not be quite right here. It seems to slump by 20, 30, 40 millimeters even, but that's much tidier and good enough for this summer season. Well, just standing here, looking around, having a coffee, having a think about what the priorities are over the next month, couple of months with the garden railway, really. Just a little earlier, I was talking about cutting out the steelwork at the back, using some of that to fabricate the edges of the new bay platform. Can't do everything all at once, that's the thing. The priorities, just kind of reminding myself, I want to get this running line running for this year. I only ran trains for a couple of weekends last year on this line. I'm really keen to get this loop line fully operational for this summer. If I get too distracted with this branch line, I'm not going to get the running line ready. And the running line's needed for the branch line, obviously. Can't have the branch off a non-running running line. Let's get back to working on the main running line. Priorities therefore are tidying up these two junctions, part of the new Y or triangle junction here. Tidying up, concrete, finishing. I can put the decking in there easily enough. Get the control systems going on the running line. Do some more work on the main station. I still don't think I'm going to manage the double diamond crossovers. If you're not familiar with the main station, perhaps look back at some earlier videos. So, strategy. Tidy up these two junctions, and while I'm at it, finish this top step off that I've messed up, of course. So to do that, I need to get some woodwork going, so let's crack on with that. Here first, let's get on with it. This part of the track bed here will be concrete track bed. So I shall reflush back up to here, take this track out, reflush here, up to this triangle part here, probably fill that in with concrete as well, but stop here, and the concrete will come to about here with a nice end, sort of abutment. That will be effectively kind of a viaduct. Concrete flush here, and remake all of this stonework that I've butchered. I shall relay in a new piece of step here, whether it's one piece that's straight or a double piece. We'll just see what that looks like. For the shuttering up or forming of the concrete in situ here, I'll just use this old timber work. It's even got dodgy nails in, from old pallet bases. I can easily cut that up into bits and use whatever I want of that. Let's get some of this track work cleared first. So all I need to do is cut little sections of this pallet wood, knock it into the ground a little bit, backfill with soil to support this, and then I can fill in here with concrete. The surface, I'm not going to be decorating it, it just needs to be just basic concrete. Sometimes I've just used bricks and supported, but I might as well at least keep it a little bit tidy here, certainly on this front facing edge here. Although I think the groundwork will come up mostly here anyway. So very little of the concrete, if any of the concrete, will be showing. Doing this reminds me of the idea of piling, those big long metal piling sheets. Somewhat easier than little bits of wood. So far so good. I do need to make sure though, as I had left it before, hopefully I haven't disturbed it, that this is still true flat here, bubble wise, ideally across here, and I've got the right fall off or gradient anyway over to the bridge. Once I've put this in concrete, I'm not really going to be able to change it. Well, I'm pleased with the way that's gone in. I've driven in a wedge here to hold this in. I could use screws, but then they're difficult to get out necessarily. So one important thing is making sure that the top of this steel is clear of obstruction, so that when I'm floating and putting the concrete in and using the trowel, it's not bumping, the trowel isn't bumping against this woodwork. I can, oh, he says, that needs to go down a bit. Having just said that, there we are. So that I can do trowel. Yes, I can do my floating with the trowel and not have any obstruction. Happy with that. Good. So all of this detail is in. Happy with that. I've got to work on the exact kind of geometry of these stone blocks here now. I don't know whether I'm going to have one straight piece of top step or have two parts coming around to more like around here. I'll cut a couple of bits and then see what they look like. Oh, that's perfect. Proper bubble there. I've now got this perfectly flat this way. Having put these in, disturbing the ground somewhat, I did find that I needed to chock this up slightly just to introduce a correct twist back, but that is perfect, and similarly there, perfect bubble. I also find that the slope is exactly what I had anticipated, almost half a bubble rise to get over to the high point above the bridge, and that continues equally over there as well. Having done the wood shuttering for the return junction, I'm going to concentrate on this off junction now. Saying pretty well. I'm not so bothered about how it looks. It just needs to be flush on top. Really, I just bank this up a little bit. Use a little bit of timber. I'm going to come as far as about here, I think, with the concrete, and then beyond that will be wooden track bed, I think. This piece will form the end of the concrete section before it goes to wood. Just get that in first. There we are. Backfill there a little bit. Back support in as well. Good. Next, a little bit of timber work here, and probably here, and along the back, although to be honest, the back doesn't need a lot. Backfilling to hold it in. That needs a little bit more clearing out, so I've got a nice a bit of a blob of concrete there, because that will support the bit of track bed going off here, which will be wood. I will have another pier, metre or so down there, before the bridge pier abutment. Oh, spot on, absolutely spot on. Perfect bubble across. That is naturally falling here by, yep, half a bubble. And I'm expecting this to be fairly flat. Actually, perfectly flat. Perfectly flat. Goes all the way flat straight over to the bridge. Right on. That is very good. And here, yeah, flat. So I haven't checked here yet, but I'll be able to adjust that in due course. This is the important bit, and that is perfectly flat. Ideal. It's ready for concreting now. Right, I've just put in a couple of bits of track bed timber. They're not treated or anything, probably they're not the final pieces, just so that I've got an end for the concrete to go up to here as well, for this bit here. I probably don't need the track, the existing track out the way to do the concreting, but it'll be a damn sight easier, and it needs to be lifted anyway to get the points in. So I might as well lift the bit of track. I take track up, put it down, take it up, put it down. Anyway, more track coming up. I'm going to take up probably just this section here and a bit around the other side as well. There we are. That makes it much more easy to access for concreting and floating that off nicely there. There we are. That's that section out. This spare slab that I've got a couple of slabs like this, but only of this square size, not the rectangular one, which is a bit longer. Doesn't take me all the way. So I need a join somewhere, so I might as well have a join here. So I'm going to cut a couple of slices and think about how straight this is compared to this slab, or whether it is just coming forward slightly. So let's cut the first slice anyway. I want this rough edge facing, so the other side I'll cut off the back here. Excellent. Might need just a bit more fettling there. Yep, clear. Oh, I am very pleased with that. That is good. I've just chopped these up temporarily on some bits of wood and stuff to get the sort of general view of what it'll look like. Excellent. Oh, I'm really pleased. So, steelwork in, timber work all in for the concrete. track lifted. I do need to be mindful that I think this needs a little bit of fettling here. I remember it was slightly undulating when the trains went over it, so I might just need to reduce the height of that, chip that out a bit and float that nicely across. It's better to go side to side without a bit in the middle. I can deal with that next time. Top step, stones are cut, ready to go in. Top block, that does need setting in a little bit more. That is a bit too high. Hope you've enjoyed following along with this mini series from the Garden Railway. Thanks for watching and bye for now.